All right, guys, let me know if my audio is okay before we get going here. You won't believe the size of the lens that is walking past my face. Look at this guy. Nice job. Nice. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. Let me know if it's blown out. I feel like it's blowing out all over the place. I could be wrong, though. You won't believe the size of the lens that is walking past my face. Check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, let's get going here. Wow, you guys are active in that chat. Okay, here we go. We're going to disengage this. Bada bing that. What's going on, everyone? Happy Monday. Weird to say that, right? Hope you guys are staying warm wherever you are. I feel like it's like we are in Arctic land all over the place. It's been a brutal weekend, and it doesn't seem to be getting any easier. I hope you guys are staying warm. I hope you guys are staying, productive. Why did I not get ready for this? Okay, here we go. Pop out the chat. Bada bing. How we doing? Okay. Sean, Heidi. Hey, Heidi, I missed you. Joe, what's going on? Michael, hope you're well. Michael, I just came across that gold, not that gold, I'm sorry, that glass bottle that you gave me that was shaped like an anatomical heart. I put it somewhere and I came across, I was like, oh, this guy. I don't know if you're going to be in Vegas for WPPI, but I know I'm going to be, and so is Adorama. And make sure you stop by Adorama's booth if you're going. Also, don't forget, I'm on 2 stages. I'm in the Lighting Summit, the Pro Photo stage at the Lighting Summit before WPPI. Then I'm on stage, I believe, it's 9 a.m. I forgot what slot it is. It's the day after the keynote, I know that. Where I'll be doing the last demo of the demo where I do the cinematic lighting. If you guys know what that's about, this will be the last one for a while at least, okay? Okay, so before we get going, you know what's up. I'm gonna give you guys a quick rundown of what's about to happen. Yeah, the anatomical heart, Mike. Man, I love that. I'm so glad that's an emoji. I don't know what I would do if there wasn't an anatomical heart emoji. I'll say that right now. I can't decide if I need to take the flannel off or not, so I'm gonna split the difference and roll the sleeves. Look at this lens. Roy, I gotta show that lens on stream. Get over here. This is, by the way, I don't know if you want to come on now. You're not feeling it? you can come on if you want to come on. Guys, this is Roy Rochelin. He's going to be a guest on Coffee with Creators. You might remember him from my Comic-Con video. Let me get a mic going here. My man's in here picking up a monster of a lens. What is that, on a Z9? Let me just make sure I got audio. Check. Okay.
We're still deciding.
We're still deciding? What is this?
It's a 400 2.8.
It's just a 400 2.8. Don't you guys casually shop for a 400 2.8? But that's from the used department, isn't it?
From the used.
So that's mounted onto an FTZ adapter onto a Z9. So why go with the F mount if you're in Z mount?
The Z mount's it's a bit much for me.
Yeah, we're talking about, what is that, like a $16,000 lens?
Yeah, I think it's 12,000, but yeah, very, very expensive.
And what is this looking at?
This one's going for 4,500 used.
40. So all you guys that get psyched up on, I only have to have the most expensive and brand new. This is a legitimate, hardcore working pro that depends on his gear at the drop of a hat. I mean a drop of a hat, because you work for Getty. You're out there at every event in New York. This guy's got to get moving, and he's not like, you know what, I'm gonna go into a mortgage and get a new lens.
It's also like, it's a lens that I'll use several times a year, and it's not a daily lens, so I can't justify having $12,000 on my shelf.
So practicality, who knew that still exists? I'm gonna let him get into this because he's gonna be on Coffee with Creators later this month, Wednesday, 11 a.m. on the main channel. You guys know what's up. Come join me and Roy. We'll talk about Comic-Con and stuff like that. Enjoy, have fun, man. I'll see you in a few weeks. Couple weeks, few weeks? What is it, the 20-something? 25th or something like that? That mic isn't on, are you sure? This mic wasn't even on? Oh, this mic wasn't on. Check. Oh, this mic, did you guys hear him at all? Come on. Check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This mic is not, oh, it's dead. The mic's dead. The mic's been dead. Did you guys not tell me this? Did you hear him at all? No, you didn't hear him? Do you want me to go through this one more time? I feel like a total, it's giving me red flashing lights. We'll do this one more time, guys. This is what live is. I didn't know he was coming in today. So this is what you guys get. Hold on. We're gonna do this one more time. All right. I'm going to do this one more time because Roy deserves it. Let me see. Is it check 1, 2? There we go. All right. So real quick, why go with the F-mount version when you're a working pro? You got Z-mount. Why not do the latest and greatest?
Well, the Z mount is $12,000, and it's a lens that I'm going to use 10 to 15 times a year. I don't want $12,000 sitting on my shelf, so I think this will do 90% of what that one does, and it costs $4,500 used. So I think that's where I'm going.
Smart practicality. All right, guys. We'll go back into this Coffee with Creators. Okay, we'll see if he bought the lens. We don't know. He's just trying it out. He's just trying it out. So the 25th, I think, is a Wednesday. My man's coming in 11 a.m. We'll talk to him. Go do what you're gonna do. Thank you for being a good sport. How long can you hold that thing still? They're asking.
Longer than expected.
Longer than expected, he says. The mic is still not on? No, I think it was just really low. Watch. The mic was on. It's just, I think it was really low. Look, I'm working on the fly, guys. I apologize. If you're watching this on playback for the first time, this is episode 40. I'm never going to get it right. Never going to get it right, okay? I didn't know he was coming by. I grabbed the mic really quick. This is what it is, okay, guys? I'm sorry. I'm doing the best I can for you, all right? Leave me a bad Yelp review. How's that? How's that? Just leave me a bad Yelp review and we'll move forward, okay? What I did want to talk to you guys about is what is coming up. All right, so we got Coffee with Creators with Jeffrey Berliner. Some of you might remember Jeffrey. He popped in on here live randomly. My man is amazing. He started a nonprofit foundation to teach people how to do wet plate, large format. I'm talking about like tin types, glass plate, all that kind of stuff. Not to mention, you're talking about the guy who Frankenstein's the most amount of retro vintage gear I've ever seen. Such cool stuff. Every time he walks in Adorama, something new is around his neck. It's unbelievable. And his kid's always got something cool around his neck. Has the largest collection of just crazy stuff. If he doesn't know about it, they didn't make it. Let's put it that way. Then we got Ab Cisse coming up on Thursday, February 5th. Ab's making his triumphant return right here to the event space. He'll be trying to challenge himself to do 10 lighting setups in 1 hour, which, come on, Ab, that's not really a challenge. You're totally making this into a thing. But we'll let it go. Ab is amazing. If you don't know Ab, level up with Ab Cisse on the main channel. One of the best photographers, one of the best educators, one of the most highly technical guys I know, for sure, for sure. Susan Stripling is going to be in here. She's going to be doing, basically going through wedding details, like the rings and all the smaller stuff on a wedding day and what you should be looking for with that kind of stuff. So think tabletop type stuff, think more, I don't want to say product, but it's definitely in that realm. The details of the dress, details of all that kind of stuff, the lay flat type stuff. That's what Susan Stripling is going to be going through. And I'm pretty sure Susan was named like one of the top 100 wedding photographers by American Photo at some point. You guys remember American Photo. Daniel Norton will be back here on the 12th with single light portraits. This is his single light for single people demo because it's Valentine's Day. Why not? And Mark Mann is making his triumphant return. I haven't seen Mark in a minute. I'm super hyped about this. Leica has graced us with Mark Mann's presence. My man does first of all, he's probably the most charming guy in this industry. He'll get anybody to want to let him take their portrait, get a great portrait out of him. If you missed his Coffee with Creators episode, you're really missing out on the psychology of shooting portraits and high-end portraits because he shoots 10 tons of celebrities. So make sure Tuesday, February 17th, you're staying tuned for that. Make art, make money, the real business of photography. Karen Williams wrote a book on how to actually make a living at this in this industry, in this modern era. So make sure you check out that one. She wrote, I think it was called The Photo Hustle. Yeah, Photo Hustle. Make sure you check that one out. Dan comes back on the 19th. We're going to be doing fun product photos. We don't have fun here, Dan. What are you doing? We're going to be shooting a really, really beautiful, it sounds crazy, but a really beautiful Casio keyboard. It's got this like golden mustard paint job to it. It looks like a hot rod. So we're going to pull that thing up. We're going to start doing some product shots on that. Daniel's probably going to do some of his miniature stuff. It's going to be sick. And then Roy, you just saw him. Roy Rushland's going to be right here on the 25th, 11 a.m. Come talk to us. Getty photographer, one of the most hardworking guys out here in this city. And honestly, he's been in every one of my Comic-Con videos for a reason because he's been through it all. Then we got Meg Lokes coming in March 11th. Small sets, big feelings. So shooting in a small space, making a lot of impact, high creative, high concept. You guys know who Meg Lokes is, and there'll be more added as we go forward. So please, guys, make sure you check out the events calendar. If you aren't already, make sure you are following Adorama on Eventbrite so that you're getting notified when this stuff gets posted. Then you can RSVP, and even if you aren't going to make it in person, RSVP because you get notified for when the stream kicks, right? So if you can't make it here in person, you're jumping in that chat, make sure you do that. Hey, Gary, what's going on, man? I didn't see you. I hope you're staying warm in Florida. It's cold in Florida, man. I can't believe it's snowing where you're at. Kind of crazy. Yeah, and Mark, man, is a great guy, and you guys should definitely stay up on who that guy is. I love the guys. His style is a little contentious because he does some processing to things, but he sticks to his style. He has his look. He has prolific look. People know it's a Markman portrait. It has a real vibe and a tone to it. So it is what it's like. Man, just watching him work is cool. So you're going to be able to see that, live, which is really awesome. Gary, it is negative degrees here in New York with wind chill. Are you kidding me? I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear nothing. Seriously though, make sure you're either subscribed to this channel so you don't miss out on all these live streams that are going to hit, or the Eventbrite. Make sure or both. Just do both. What am I talking about? All right. So if you're new here, this is an Ask Me Anything. Literally, you ask. If I can do the answer as a demo, I'll do that. Most of the time, I can just answer it straight up. Got Quinn with me. No one's saying hi to Quinn. You're all rude, horrible people. I know. You'd think they'd have manners by now. 40 episodes. You think one of them would have manners right now. Of course not. Why would you? Why would you? All right. How many of you guys have been here since day one? Let me know in that chat. How many of you have been here since the first Ask Me Anything live view stream? Because I feel like we've been doing this for a hot minute. And some of them have been 2 hours. Some of them have gone down some rabbit holes. Some of them have been ridiculous. We've done some crazy stuff like making a 4x5 camera into a 100 megapixel medium format camera, right? We adapted my GFX to a Campbell 4x5. I did some self-portraits like that because I'm a masochist. We looked at the fingerprint camera that I brought in. We did a lot of things that you probably wouldn't be able to fit that in any other type of format on these channels. So that's really what I love about this stream is, one, we're constantly in communication. We're constantly connected. We're hearing what you guys have as concerns, what you're looking for, and also whatever I want to throw in here, I can throw in here. If someone comes in the store that I want you to say what's up to, I throw them in here. I'm sorry about the mic problems with Roy. I wasn't prepared like a mook, but what are you going to do? 40 episodes. I know, it's crazy, right? Edgar's been here since day one. Edgar, I think you're the one that I did the Stranger Things holiday lighting setup. That stream did probably 10 times the views of any other live view. So thank you for throwing that question at me, and I'm glad that worked. Yeah, we did the Stranger Things. That's right. It's the thumbnail that's all red, So I might have missed a couple, but I try to catch everything you're on. I hope that when you can't catch these live, you guys feel like you can throw them on while you're editing, kind of catch some things. One of the cool things is you can play the live chat back in real time so you can see what the conversations were, not just my point of view, but maybe some other people chimed in, because I can't I can't acknowledge every single thing in these chats, right? Okay, questions on the question sticker. Number one, I think you're in this chat, Hypersonic. I know you're trying to be cute, bro. But you answered the question sticker with a picture of a handwritten letter. And what you don't know is that when you do that, the picture is this big. There's no enlarging to it. So I don't know what you wrote, can't read it, don't know. You could have just wrote it out. So, Deborah, of course, you've been here since day one, of course. You have a white balance question. When using gels with flash, should white balance be set for daylight temperature? It depends on what you're doing. I'm in the belief of keep my camera neutral, which is daylight, and then add the color to the lights if I have that control. So if you are trying to make that CTO, that orange gel, look orange, it's going to look orange because your light is balanced for daylight and you're putting an orange filter, in a sense, on top of it. If you balance against that, if you say, you know what, I'll put it in tungsten white balance, well, guess what? It neutralizes that orange and it goes back to daylight. which is a trick that you guys have seen me do a lot. But the reality is that if you're gonna gel lights, you wanna be neutral in the camera so that you have control over that. And then you're adding your color or tones or temperatures to the lights one by one for whatever effect you're going for whatever look you're going for. Does that make sense? So it's one of those things that gels are super creative, but they can also be, and just super fun to just chuck into a setup. But they are also one of those things that are highly technical for certain situations. Like, yeah, let's throw a pink gel in the background, make the background pink. But what if I said that it could be more saturated, could be even, could have a different tone, could, you know, take off some of that saturation if I want, you know, so stuff like that. So like, for example, if I put a gel in front of my lens, in front of my light, if I wanted to oversaturate it, I would underexpose the light a little bit. If I wanted to take away some of that saturation and brighten it up, I'd put more power through, overexpose that light with the gel so that it would take down the saturation of the gel. So more power, right, means less saturation. It just blows past the gel if you think about it that way. Yeah, hypersonic, I had no idea what your question was, man. That handwritten thing, it could not read it. Sorry, man. Try to catch him while I'm at the gym before work. So currently doing leg machines. You know, I got to get in the gym, dude. I feel like this cold weather has made me isolated and like not moving enough. And I got to get into shape for WPPI for sure. Okay, so Hyper's asking, you like to set your white balance at 5,000, but do you have white balance settings you stick to for half or quarter CTO? Yeah, 5,000. I keep it at neutral because what I'm doing is I'm adding that gel to change the temperature by some degree. So if you're talking about CTOs specifically, meaning color, temperature, orange, meaning that we are changing it to a warmer temperature, not a color, a temperature, which means I can balance for or against it. Yo, I'll see you in Vegas, Gary. If Gary's doing a class, make sure you go to his too, okay? I'm sure, are you gonna be in the Adorama booth doing a demo, Gary? So for example, if you said to me, I'm shooting, I don't know, we're shooting a portrait and we want a warmer feel to it, but I don't want it to be orange. I would much more likely throw a quarter CTO onto this light and just subtly warm up the light that I'm using in that situation rather than change my white balance after I gel. Always keep it, in my opinion, people can do whatever they want, but in my opinion, this is where you keep it, the variable away from the camera, meaning the camera stays neutral, your variable is whatever gels you're adding to your lights. And you can also put a half CTO on the key light and a quarter CTO on a fill light and have a gradation to the temperature as well. Or you can overlap them, put one light with a half CTO and a quarter CTO overlapping so that it's spilling organically, meaning the half is staying half, where it overlaps gives you a little bit more of a stronger warmth, which is 3/4, and then the side on this side could be just a quarter. And when I say on the light, not like on the light, like you're shooting it at a distance. Ab does that a lot, actually. Ab puts up a bunch of gels at a distance and rips light through them, different densities, because then it really shows a little more sophistication to your light where it has more of a gradational tone. It doesn't have like a monochromatic, just all universal looking light, because light is bouncing and touching things. If you want it to look organic, it's got to be a little filthy, but you can control how organic it and how corrupted and not clean it is, you know? Does that make sense? Okay. And the reason I do 5,000K on my camera is in studio settings. That is not all the time. 5,000 Kelvin for me is when I'm using strobes with a softbox. I like in Pro Photo System, I like 5,000K because what happens is softboxes tend to warm up our lighting a little bit. And manufacturers tend to think that people want a warmer look to their light. They think it's more pleasing for portraits like that. I am more, I lean a little more neutral, if not cold, with the way I shoot. I've always leaned cold. I've always been like a cold feeling type of image type guy. I don't know what it is. I've always leaned that way. If you look at anything I've shot on my Instagram or whatever, there's always like cold rim lights or something. Or if I'm doing warm, it's actually a contrast to the cold that I'm putting in there. So it's not that I'm warming up the skin, it's that I'm giving the viewer enough blue or cold or just like toned down look around the subject, which makes the subject appear as if it is warmer. If you look at my Instagram, you'll see a lot of that. Now that I said that and you look at my work, you'll probably start realizing, oh, there really isn't a warmth here. It's just that everything else is cold. So it snaps. So I use contrast in that sense as opposed to just contrasted lighting, okay? I'm using my phone as a mouse over here. Where was I going? So yeah, the 5000K is not an all the time thing. You're just seeing it in here because that's what I do to neutralize a light to where I personally like my color. Or I feel is more accurate, I should say. Okay. Seth, I'm wanting an optical spot in my studio. Max distance would be about 16 feet. I want it to be large enough to cover the whole person. I use a lot of Westcott light, but it's either 50 millimeter or 150. I see others have zooms or variable angle. I'm not sure of quality and customer service of sales. I'm not sure what the question is, but if you're asking about the lens, if you're trying to cover more of an area with a focusing spotlight, you want a wider angle lens to do that. Boom. It's projecting wider, right? I'm not sure the question. I'm sorry. What about putting a gel on the light and then white balance after to post to get funky effects? Green gel, then post and white balance, make everything magenta. You will absolutely see that on my, actually, it's on my Instagram, I guarantee you. Guarantee you there's a, let's see, Instagram.com. I guarantee you I've done that a bunch of times somewhere on my page. But yeah, anything white balance oriented, meaning warm, orange, blue, warmth, cold, not just blue or orange in general, but warm, cold, and magenta or green. So, okay, that's where, wow, when's the last time I did this? Must have been a while. Sometimes I get into something and then I get over it really quick and I move on to something else. Let me see if I can find it. But in reality, wow, that was a live stream. Okay, so this is magenta light with, I'm sorry, this is magenta, this is minus green, not magenta, minus green gels on my strobe. The daylight then becomes green because I'm bouncing in my camera. Or back in the day, I actually used green filters on the front of my lens, and then I used magenta minus green gels on my lights. And actually, I'll tell you, there's a video I did that is a sleeper video. You ready for this? There was a hard drive video I did where I did this. Yep. Hold on. Let's see if I can get this going because this is like a 2-minute video that got slept on. Adorama, G-Tech, SSD. This one. This was 6 years ago. You can even see on the thumbnail right here that she's by a window and it's all green. Well, in this video, I do just that. 2-minute video. I'll put it in the chat, but pretty much I'm talking about a hard drive here. This is how crazy we used to go. So you can actually see right here. You see this? Magenta gel, minus green, not magenta. I keep saying magenta because you started doing it, Gaston. Minus green gel, that's why it looks purple. And then I got her in front of a daylight window that's pouring in just green light. And look at that, in real time, you're watching green daylight fill the studio. And then we're balancing against it with the minus green gel, so she's neutral. And this is all happening in camera, in real time, right to tether. This is not filters, there's no masking, there's no AI garbage. There was none 6 years ago. This is, and there's my gray target, and then I did this kind of stuff. So I'll put that in the chat. You guys can watch that if you want. Drop a comment, throw some likes on it. Maybe I can revive that video, you know, stuff like that, okay? All right, so yeah, if you guys can, I'd appreciate if you could hit that like button. We're at 50 of you and only 20 likes. Is there a way of hooking up with wireless camera and laptop without using camera range for events? I know you can do it with Capture One, I think. Yeah, you can do that with Capture One with Nikon, Canon. I think Fujifilm lets you do it, but it's per manufacturer. It also is not the most reliable thing on earth. If you are thinking that you are going to have a wireless tether sending ones and zeros across a room in a room full of Wi-Fi enabled camera phones and all sorts of stuff, it's really meant for a closed set that is controlled. I would not be doing wireless in-camera Wi-Fi chip wireless in an event, especially one that you cannot retake the photo in or whatever. This whole like, you're better off just running cards, if I'm being honest. Just like shoot to the card, run the cards. I just, wireless to me leaves too many ones and zeros in the air that could go away forever. And I don't care how much money you spend on a camera, how much they put into software. There's variables in the airwaves that get crazier as we go forward that you don't know about, okay? You also don't know what the venue is running. So that's why when you see something like Fujifilm doing camera to cloud, it saves it to the memory card and then it sends it to cloud if you have a strong enough Wi-Fi signal. And in most cases, they have their own Wi-Fi set up for that, meaning like a pineapple, Wi-Fi antennas galore, all that stuff. All right. All right. I'm losing. Sorry, guys. I'm way behind on this chat. Okay. I guess my question is, yeah, variable would be better to move the light. However, the ones I've seen other than Harlow, the question is, as far as quality, I don't know, man. I couldn't answer that. I mean, the best thing I could tell you is if you're wondering about a brand's customer service or whatever, go do some research on forums. If you don't hear a lot about them, odds are they probably have good customer service. Westcott does have a Facebook group that is super active, and I have absolutely seen Westcott themselves super active in that group and have been in real time helpful to people. So if that accounts to anything, but I don't know, man. You and Adorama team helped me develop a Rolodex in my mind. Awesome. Was on set yesterday and a lot of tips. Awesome, man. I'm glad, Tony. I'm glad. And you've been in so many of these chats. I hope some of it's sticking. You know what I mean? I think something just clicked in my brain. Awesome. Go for it. Go get it. Yeah, I don't know, man. You're going to hear about 1,000 different wireless tethering, and I'm going to tell you, if it's critical or you're in a hectic space, it's not worth it. Run the cards. What is the difference between it getting to a computer or giving it to someone to go run to a computer? If anything, whoever's at that computer can just run cards for you. If you watch any sporting event, actually, we just talked about it. Ian Spanier was on on Coffee with Creators, and he was saying I was running cards. We weren't doing anything. This is why I was about to grab a Z9. That's why a lot of flagship cameras have an Ethernet port, because they're hard lining in. I'm sorry, I'm not one for wireless tethering. It's also super slow and can only get slower, right? It's processing, it's sending out to Wi-Fi. Hopefully something on the other end is grabbing it and it is downloading. But if you're doing high-res RAW files, if you're doing high volume, it's just, you can keep on trying to come up with whatever solution you want. You're asking my answer of it. My answer is don't bother. Unless you're in a controlled environment, in a studio, if you were in a controlled space, you're not in a room full of 100 people at an event with Bluetooth and Wi-Fi enabled phones going all over the place. Whatever else is going on with whatever, you probably have other people there doing other things like the video people, some sort of DJ, whatever. You don't know what's going on, but I would not be in a heavy congested environment and try to do some wireless system that isn't some sort of closed system. Even the camera to cloud still saves the card for a reason. I know we all like, oh, we should have wireless by now. We've only in the last few years figured out how to get more than 16 feet of USB cable. So you can try whatever you want. I'm just in the camp of I'm not going to be doing that. And if you were, I would say maybe if you were a JPEG shooter for some sort of like high school sports or whatever, and it's a smaller file that you're running somewhere else, but the raw files or the higher res files are still going to cards. So I'm just not that guy, man. Sorry about that. Mixing RGB tubes and strobe on a model, how would you go about balancing the exposure? Well, you're always at the mercy of your lowest powered light, right? Because you can always dial down higher powered lights. So you're gonna wanna set your exposure for those tubes to get them where they want, and then you're gonna have your exposure for your strobe just kind of fit in there, right? Wherever you are, let's say you're setting up constant lights and you're having to shoot pretty wide open, or maybe a slower shutter speed or a higher ISO than you're normally used to, because those constant lights are not as bright as a strobe. They won't be. They just won't be. Even cranked to 100 or whatever. So you're going to want to set your exposure for the tube as if it's an ambient light source, which it technically is. And then you're going to bring in your strobe and get your exposure to your strobe based on your settings for the RGB tubes. So start with the tubes first, add the strobe later. Or last, or whatever. How cold would it have to be for you not to take your camera outside? Man, I don't want to go outside like ever. I'm just like, I don't know. You're asking me the wrong time. But what I will say is if you are taking your cameras out into cold environments, you're going to run into issues if you take your camera from a nice warm room and then go head outside. You're going to get fogging on your glass. You could get fogging on your sensor. Okay, so you're going to want to acclimate your gear to the temperature. So a lot of times what you'll see is people leaving gear cases in foyers or not completely inside, because what you're going to want to do is acclimate some sort of mitigation between your warm environment and then that extreme cold. The second you go from a warm environment into your cold, sensors fog up and you're not shooting anything. And then you could have possible, I don't want to say moisture damage, but you're getting some sort of humidity inside of your gear. So make sure you're acclimating everything, especially your glass. Make sure your glass is getting to the temperature you're going to be working in, okay? All right. I have a shoot coming up with a young lady with awesome freckles, and I recall a video talked about using gels to make those freckles pop in black and white, but can't find it. I'll be honest with you, if you're tethering, you can actually have a color grade for black and white that will pull out some freckles. So for example, you have a red, yellow slider, those will absolutely take away or highlight freckles with or without gels. I would not gel for freckles because and I know I did it and I know it's possible, but the reason I wouldn't gel for freckles to make them come out is because they're going to affect literally everything else. So let's say they have a hair tone that counterbalances against the freckles, you're going to lose detail in the hair, or you're going to lose detail in the eyes a little bit too, like the iris or whatever. So I would say do a color grade instead of the gel, because the gel is hardcore baked in. That's literally your lighting. And let's say later on you said, you know what, I don't want those in black and white. I actually want those frames in color. You still have those color frames. If you gel for freckles, then your frame is going to be all orange or all red because you're using that type of light. So I would say if you're looking to highlight freckles in black and white, and really pull them, like really pull them out of the frame a little bit, do it with your black and white color channels, over here, like in here. So if I go to here and I go to, if I go to black and white, you have these right here, you have this red, yellow. The red and yellow are really going to change what's going on with those freckles. So I would do that, and sometimes some green too, actually. All right, so don't bake it in. Don't bake in that. Don't use light you can't walk back. Okay. I deal more with cold to warm and humidity, whatever it is, whatever you're working with. So I would just do yourself a favor and cold to warm causes the condensation or whatever. If you do either way, acclimate your gear. Acclimate your gear. I probably got that backwards, actually, now I'm thinking about it. If you're going from warm to cold, going from cold to, going from cold to warm will cause your glass to fog up. Okay, whatever. Either way, I'm clearly not in a good headspace right now to get this together. Oh, sick. Hang on a second. Available on the 18th. Sick. I'm going to be making the jump from, what is that? Oh, do you mean mirrorless? Did you? Okay. It's actually mirrorless, like mirrorless, like without mirror. I'm going to be making the jump from mirrorless with the Z8. I do a lot of portrait photography. My question is, what lenses you suggest? I'm currently using 24 to 70, 72. I think you're fine. The lens, I would never tell you guys to start buying lenses on a theory of whatever you think you're going to go shoot. You have to look at what lenses are doing and what they're going to bring for your subject. I literally did an entire, oh, did I not put this in the chat? Did I put the SSD video in the chat or no? Probably not, right? Okay, this is the SSD video. I'll put that in the chat. And then I literally did a video, Seth Miranda portrait lens. Yeah. So this video right here, I'm gonna put this in the chat and you can watch that. Because this is a bigger discussion than what focal lengths am I being told are for portraits. That's not the question. The question is, what kind of portraits are you trying to take? What would suit your subject? Okay. So I would also look at what you're doing with those zoom lenses and see where you're settling in on most cases that you get the shot that you like. For example, if you're using a 24 to 70 and you see that, 90% of the time I just keep on shooting portraits at 50 millimeter, then 50 millimeter is where you're looking to kind of invest into maybe a prime lens. But like, there's no such thing as like, I shoot portraits, then you must get this lens. It's just, whoever says that, I am not of that mindset or philosophy at all. All right. So that link in the chat is to the video where I talk 20 something minutes about lens selection. Where am I? Keep your batteries warm in cold weather. Absolutely. So lithium batteries will run shorter, meaning they won't run as long in colder weather. In fact, I don't know if you guys remember this, but Apple got an influx of like customer service calls back in like the early iPhone days because it was super cold out and everybody's phone was just not turning on or shutting down or really quickly. It was because the batteries are cold. So lithium batteries are prone to being cold. So that's a good tip for sure. Help with sweaty singers keeping details. Do you treat this like reflections? Heidi, I mean, I don't know. What are you trying to say? You're trying to hide the sweat or you're trying to bring the sweat out? I think no matter what, unless you're creating the light, no matter what, you're at the mercy of whatever that stage light is. You know what I mean? Unless you're able to create the light you want to create, you're not going to be changing the way it looks. You're not going to be throwing a diffuser up there, for example, right? Like it's just not going to happen. So I'm not sure. Any printer for a quick deliver on location? You mean buying a physical printer to then print out on the spot? I got to tell you, I send everything kind of out, but I've seen some impressive stuff from HP. I've seen some impressive stuff from Canon. I guess start with a budget and then look at your options and then see which system works for you. For example, you might like a printing software that works with one over another. You might like the wireless capability of one over another. You might like the ink array, meaning you want more tones, or you might be someone's like, I just want one cartridge that I change. Like, so I would really make a budget for yourself and then look at your options in that budget and then look at the way those systems work for each brand and reviews. I know that's probably the weakest answer I could give you, but that is it. they always look like they have a smooth sweat sheen over them. Well, yeah, they're sweating. I mean, the only thing I could tell you is you're either capturing the way they look while they're working and you're capturing the act of them actually performing, or you're not, right? So if you're not, then you're doing more of a setup situation where they aren't actually playing. So for example, like a music video, they're not going all in on it. They're lip syncing and playing to a track, right? If you're in a controlled environment, then you have a whole nother story. But if they're on stage and they're doing what they do under hot lights, putting in tons of energy and sweating really hard, they're going to look sweaty in the shot. If you are not creating the light, then you are just working with the light that is there. If there are spotlights in that ceiling causing hard highlights, the only thing you can do is play angle games to where you might get an angle where it's not reflecting back into your lens. But that's hard to kind of do when it's like a ubiquitous lighting setup, you know? So, well, yeah, I don't know if you're looking for a 4x6 printer or an actual print, because I don't think, I know Vanessa Joy does like Instax printers and stuff and hands people at a wedding like Instax prints, but that's not like a printer. I don't know if you want to do like an actual finished print that they can have, or something fun like an Instax printer. And the Instax printers are super fun. I have a few of them. Let me see, Instax printer, Instax printer. So these are the Instax printer. You film with a pack of Instax film and they wirelessly print, right? So a pack of film is going to cost you whatever it is. They're going to get a small thing, but there's, here, I'll put it in the chat. It's a small investment, but and it's fun, but it might not be it. Heidi, I'm trying to tell you that unless you are creating your own light, there is nothing else to do. If you are creating your own light, are you shooting with a flash? Are you setting up an off-camera strobe on a stand? Are you, what is it? Because unless you're creating the light, you're at the mercy of the light. What are your thoughts on a soft lighter versus a softbox or octa? So a soft lighter is basically, I don't have it. I don't have one. All right, so a soft lighter is, let me see if I got is basically a socked umbrella that spills light everywhere. It's very flat in shape, meaning it's not as domey, parabolic-y or whatever. It's probably the worst way to say it. And it spills light everywhere. So it's a really diffused light. With a softbox, you're not spilling so much. You have some control. And it's a direct light source, so it has a different shape and punch to it rather than something that's completely diffused and scattered. All right? So the soft lighter was huge for a while because Annie Leibovitz said she liked it. Now everybody had to buy that thing, right? And then everyone's like, oh, it's painterly. It's like, whatever that term even means. If you can't tell, it's like, I can't stand hearing this, like painterly. Then go paint. I don't know what to tell you. Go shoot some photos. You know what I'm saying? But a softbox is more direct, more controlled, less diffused. Something like a soft lighter is spreading more light, more scattered, more diffused, a little flatter feeling. Definitely a flatter feel. Okay? But in my opinion, you could kind of get, you have a little more option when it comes to just getting an umbrella and a diffuser, meaning I can get a silver umbrella with a little bit more of a snap to it, even though it's socked. Or, you know, you can, different sizes, different, how deep or shallow they are, the way they spread. The soft lighter is just a name of a specific umbrella that someone put out there, you know, if that makes any sense. Whew, man. Sorry, guys. Hectic week and things are getting thrown in my phone. Hey, Brad, how are you? All right, so was any of this the answers that you guys were seeking? I apologize if I'm coming off a little like snappy. It's tough when when you're on a delay and like you're trying to talk in real time and then I gotta wait like a full minute for you guys to come back to me, it's tough. People don't get how hard these things are, especially in Ask Me Anything where it's like you literally ask me anything. And I don't know what's gonna happen. So I hopefully I got the answers for you. A lot of gel questions, huh? I guess gels are one of those things you can spend a few bucks and get some big changes and some big options to what you can do with your frame, especially when it comes to color temperature, you know. Sewer backup, that's awful. Awful, awful, awful. I hope everyone's staying safe out there, by the way. I know it's like crazy Arctic cold out there. This is the 40th episode of this. I didn't want to go, I'll do it from home. You know, I feel like we got to keep this place active. You guys are always welcome here. You guys know that, you know, if it's whatever's going on, you guys are always welcome to come down here. These seats are for you. Coffee Creators is there every Wednesday for an hour or so at 11 o'clock in the morning on the main channel. And there are 80 episodes of that. 80. So we're keeping you company. If you think about it, Eastern time, 11 a.m. or 5 p.m., that's when Adorama goes live on one of the channels. So if you're looking to hop in a chat, or even if you want something long form to play in the background, like that's the thing, right? Also, you have 8-hour marathon streams on here, all day replay. So you got version 1 and 2. I pieced together a bunch of past live streams. If you missed any, or if there's some that you watch back now that you have a little bit more of a grip on some things, learn something more, understand it a little deeper. So make sure you check out the all-day replays on this channel. This channel, by the way, where are we at? We are at 60... Where are we at? We are at 61,843 at this moment. Do you remember when we were struggling to get to 10,000 subscribers on this channel? So you guys are all part of that. I want to get to that 100K this year, man. I want that silver play button back here or somewhere that we all earned, you know? Any other questions, guys? I know we're hitting the tail end of this thing. I know I didn't really shoot anything. I love how I lug a camera and some other stuff here, and we barely, no guarantee of staying warm. Is it true that having a cyclorama wall installed in the event space? Just something I heard on the street? No, we are not putting a cyc on here. What you guys don't understand is cycs are a lot of maintenance. One, you can't put anything against the wall pretty much because you're going to dent or smack up the wall. It has to stay pristine. Anybody that's been in a commercial studio or rental studio knows how many times they've painted over the cyc. So I know you're having fun, but like I would rather have what we have here where it's super versatile. You got to realize that this isn't just a studio. You'll have a panel in here. You'll have a meetup group in here. We shot dogs for an entire day in here, right? Like a cyc is just way too much upkeep. They're cool, but I also don't need a sweep. We don't often need a sweep to have that infinity look to it because we're not really shooting that kind of stuff in here anyway, you know? And let me tell you this, all cycs are not created equal. When you are at a rental studio and the cyc is kind of like, it's wavy, or it has like flex to it. If you like put your foot on it, it's got like a little bit of little give to it. It's not cool, man. And over time, the ones that have like a give to it end up getting wavy, which is interesting too, right? I think it's because of all the moisture from the over painting it. The best cyc walls I've ever worked on have been just pure poured concrete that then gets smoothed out. But, you know, there's also been ones I've shot on that were like resin. I've shot on ones that have basically been built by like skaters and then just treated it like another mini ramp, you know? So there's all sorts of stuff. But listen, when you just want to throw up a light and get going, a cyc wall is one of the best things ever. You don't got to worry about background stands, whatever, but you are going to be painting that thing. You know, you'd think you can ride in a cyc wall built by skaters, but you can't because you end up putting so much damage. Every time there's like a chip or something in there, keep in mind, if you light it a little off, that becomes a shadow or a texture or something, and that's another problem, right? As a guy who has a daylight studio that's all white, you notice everything that's not completely white in those frames, and then you have to either try to light it out, or you know you're gonna be doing some post-editing to get it out, and it's like just obnoxious, but man. No, I appreciate you guys sticking with me. I know that these streams are like hit or miss. We don't know what we're gonna get into, topics. We don't know what we're gonna talk about, or if there's like an actual demo to do in here, but you know, it's I'd like to think it's just kind of like a meetup, hang out, chill out, and if there's something like weird that you're stuck on and ChatGPT just isn't getting it, I guess I'm your guy, right? Plus, you have to remember ChatGPT never shot anything. You know what I mean? Like they don't know it's trying to give you an idea and sound like a human being, but they've never been through it. I turned linoleum over and painted it. When it got there, I couldn't clean it. No more work for it. Wait, what? I turned linoleum over and painted it. So you have linoleum that is the glue side up. And when it got where I couldn't clean it no more, worked for 10 years. You had a linoleum glue side up as your cycle? And you painted it and it stuck? Or you're saying that the linoleum was cleanable? Hey, what's up, Lloyd? Hope you're good, man. Lloyd, you gonna go into WPI? I'm gonna see you in Vegas in a few weeks. I hope I see a few of you guys in Vegas when that happens, all right? If you see any of us, me, Daniel, whoever, say what's up. I got stickers for you guys, of course, you know. I'll keep you warm. It's still worth trying to get these guys to a workshop on this side of the country. Where are you, Heidi? You're on the West Coast? I haven't worked in LA in so long. I just haven't even poked over there in so long. You know, I will do a workshop anywhere, but there has to be a budget, some funding. There has to be a way to do it where, I will always try to help and give my time where I can, but I can't be spending. I have to have some way for it to not cost me money or whatever, when Joe sends me to London, like there's a whole plan to that, Bought linoleum new, turned it over and painted it white. Okay, if that works for you. I never did the linoleum thing. In fact, I've had linoleum crack over time on some sets. When it wasn't laid flat, I should say. When it was at all on some that wasn't completely flat, over time, maybe it was cheap linoleum. I don't know. So, all right, we're at noon, guys. We did the whole hour. I guess we didn't shoot anything again. Every now and then we shoot something cool or we get into it, but not this time, I guess. Last call for questions, guys, because I do got to get things going here. Don't forget, there is a lot of stuff happening this week. We got Jeffrey Berliner coming in for Coffee with Creators. This guy is like a mad scientist of retro gear. Unbelievable. Frankenstein, so many cool things together. And he started a nonprofit for like wet plate collodion. Really cool stuff. I love this guy. He's so bonkers. I love it. Ab Cisse will be here Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern. 10 lighting setups in 1 hour with Ab. You got Susan Stripling the week after that doing details of wedding. You got Single Light for Single People, Daniel Norton's yearly annual Valentine's Day stream. Got Mark Mann coming in here on the 17th, The Art of One Light portraits with one of the best to ever do it. Mark Mann. You got How to Make Money in This Industry in This Modern Era with Karen Williams, who wrote The Photo Hustle. Make sure you stay up on that one. Daniel Norton will be shooting some product photography with a really beautiful keyboard, like hot rod looking keyboard. Roy Rochlin will be here. Getty photographer, one of the hardest working guys in New York. Coffee with Creators on the 25th. March, we got Meg Lokes. She does very high concept creative work. Don't forget about checking up with that. And that is just where we're getting started, guys. So make sure you check out the events page. Make sure you hit subscribe here so you don't miss out on any of the events. If we stream them, it'll be coming out of here. If not, if you haven't noticed, Daniel Norton's live streams on the main channel now are collaborated to this channel, so you can catch them on the collaboration feed here as well. So make sure you hit subscribe. Don't want to miss out on any of this stuff, okay? You never heard of a psych wall before today? Ken, you have probably delivered so much gear to places that have a psych wall. A psych wall is literally a cycloramic, which is, I'm gonna explain this. Basically, with garbage as per usual. Basically, a cycloramic is it, can you see this? Not the best idea. When you do a paper sweep, that little bit of curvature, now imagine that permanently as a wall. That's a cycloramic. So, Heidi, you should totally go to WPI if you're that close to Vegas. Come hang out. Come say what's up. We're all going to be doing demos in the booth. I got 2 stages, one for the lighting summit before WPI starts, and then 9 a.m. Rough time slot, but I guess I was told it's a good time slot. I was told it's, it's the day after the keynote, I think. And I'll be doing that cinematic lighting demo one final time. So you guys, we're trying to keep you guys hectic and busy on this side of things. Teresa has been working hard to book as much as she can in here without it being oversaturated and making sure it's all quality stuff for you guys, Thank you, Ken. I appreciate that. Sometimes slots. So I got my reviews back from my imaging USA talk. Very, very. I don't know how to say it. Like a little overwhelming. I guess it went over well. A few people do not get my humor. It's totally fine. I'm not going to read them on here because it's going to sound like I'm being an egotistical maniac. But if you left in a review on my Imaging USA demo this past month, thank you so much. For those of you who don't get my humor or whatever, or think that I was just yelling up there, you just didn't get it. It's fine. You just didn't get it. You're probably not in this chat either because you probably hate me at this point. It is at the Rio Hotel. So WPI is in the Rio. It is March 2nd through the 5th. And is it the 5th? Yeah, 2nd to the 5th, I believe. Annie Leibovitz is the keynote speaker. So, it's not that people don't get Brooklyn. Someone actually left a comment that I've never heard before. This woman called me a knowledge bully. I don't think she gets that I was trying to relay things in a way that you'll remember it, and I'm making jokes so that you don't feel dumb if you don't know it, right? That wasn't bullying. I don't know. I think it was just odd because I tell you what, look, do you guys want to hear a couple of the reviews? Because I think it was kind of bananas. Oh, that's not that. Where is it? So, and I feel like this is going to come off egotistical because I'm, what is going on here? Okay. Let's hear it. Okay. So, first of all, they give you 1 to 5 to score me on, and I don't know what the 1 to 5, but you have 4 categories to go 1 to 5 on. I was given, just so you have an idea, if you can even read this, all those 5s going on, right? So I did pretty good. All right. So I did all right. But then there was some that just, woof. It's funny. One person wrote that they had to bear it and sit through it. And then they go, I can't believe he seems arrogant. It was hard to sit through. great photographer. That was a comment. That was a comment. Hard to sit through, but I'm a great photographer. Okay, great, cool. But then there's other people that got it, like grabs your attention, practical, realistic, intense, passionate, cool. Like inspiring, great. First time experience, did not disappoint, would recommend to anyone who wants a smack on the back of the head. I am not here to coddle anybody. I'm not here to be, to let you guys know it's going to be okay. Like, no, you have to put in some work and you have to know the type of work to put into it, right? So by far, without question, the best program of the conference, engaging, informative. Like, I can't tell you, that's like amazing to me, right? Out of everything they went to, right? So it's just, you can't win them all. And then you got people that are like, I walked out. I can't believe how flippantly disparaging. We all know photographers struggle with imposter syndrome, and I immediately lost respect for him. Okay. Out of 700 people, someone's going to do that, right? So, but I did get up there. I was saying things like, if you shoot your images for everyone, you're really shooting images for no one. You got to kind of be definitive on the way you go about things, be more deliberate. And I will say, and I think this one was referring to a point where one was asking me a question that like I literally spent the entire demo answering. So it's like, what did I say? I don't even know what I said. I don't know what I said, actually. I don't know what she's talking about, actually. I don't know what moment she's talking about. But out of all of them, like, I don't know what to say. Like, and also the respect kind of goes both ways. When you have audiences that aren't listening to what you're saying and then constantly ask the question of what you've been relaying the entire time, like, maybe I'm not doing a good job of landing it, or maybe they're just not listening, right? Like, at some point you're up there and you feel like you're repeating yourself a bunch because they're asking questions based on things that they didn't listen to. That's a little rough. And you're trying to carry hundreds of people in a room across a goal line, I should say. And not everybody runs at the same speed, and that's totally fine. And not everybody will latch on to the same things, and that's fine. I would like to think my cinematic demo is a lot about the philosophy and concept and the way we think, and isn't here, copy this exact setup and you too can do the same image. And there's a lot of people in those crowds, a lot of them, that will sit there with a laptop open and have some, I don't even know what this program is called, where they do a CGI'd like a cartoon version of the lighting setup with like a person and like softbox and stuff. You can plug and play it. They'll sit there and they'll just do that instead of listening to what you're saying. And so you go, are you even hearing what I'm saying? Or are you just trying to replicate this and say you're a photographer, instead of how this works, why we're doing it this way, what to do if this goes off the rails. It won't look the same because you're not in the same environment, in the same, doing exactly what I'm doing. Like, you have to be able to shoot on the spot based on your principles, not just replicate things. That's like someone who learns like one song on a guitar, but doesn't know how to play guitar. You know what I'm saying? I guess that's a good analogy, I guess. I go to plenty of Adorama events. Seth tells it like it is. It makes you better. Thank you. I appreciate that. I attended WPI last year, and Seth was the one to remember most on lighting something. Thank you so much, David. I'm basically doing that same class over again this year, so we'll see how that goes. I don't remember if I wrote anything negative or even at all, but if I did, I take it back. It was an awesome session. No, it's okay. Listen, I would be suspicious if I didn't get a negative review somewhere. I'm not for everyone. I'm not. And I don't think people understand what it's like to not be like, I'm not up there trying to be charming. I'm not trying to charm you so that you follow me and then buy my presets. I got nothing to sell you guys. I'm not trying to make you my best friend so that you follow and think I'm doing this. We're showing you this. I'm glad there's a connection. I'm glad things are sticking. If they're not, then I'm not the guy for you. That's all. You know, I think I think people just think, you know, no matter who's up there, it's for them. But there's a I always talk about like classical music. Everybody can find 100 orchestras to play Beethoven, but you're gonna find that one orchestra that plays it the way you connect with it the most. Me and Ab are not up there selling anything. We really aren't. We just shoot, man. We just shoot. And it's a lot of people don't want to hear the work they got to put into it. They don't want to hear the over and over again experience you need to build. Because the thing about all of this is, while there's like a constant of the cameras and the exposure, whatever, there are endless variables that we're trying to squash. Everything that gets thrown at us that could be a variable is what we're trying to eliminate. We were trying to keep consistent. I want this light to always fire at that exposure I want, at the temperature of light that I want. I don't want another variable I have to worry about because I already have a subject I'm working with who's my variable. I already have a time of day, weather. You want to talk about sweat and shiny faces? What if you had to work really fast and then you got someone that is in a controlled environment, but it's a sweaty day out there and their hair is frizzing out to death and they're not feeling that great. I've got to worry more about that than my gear doing what it's got to do. So you have to be ready for things like that, It's tough. I think it's tough for people that are starting out to find who teaches them legitimate information, practical use, and it might take you a while just to filter out what works and what doesn't work. What you're hoping for at a trade show or a conference is that the speakers on those stages that have been vetted to where you don't have to do that part. But if I'm on that stage and you're expecting me to hold your hand, I'm expecting you to be an adult that can handle coming along with me for this ride. Maybe we can't get there, and maybe that's the disconnect. However, I will say that was 2 comments out of the whole thing that were like, ah. So if everyone else gave me overwhelmingly positive reviews, where's the real variable there, right? It's the person that was taking things wrong, I will say I was in more of a jerk mode this imaging for sure. I apologize for that. I was running thin. I was running out of sanity. I was running everywhere. If you saw me at imaging, you probably saw me literally everywhere running around. It was just nuts. It was crazy. And this WPI is going to probably be the same. You definitely tend to make me feel like you'd rather me not ask questions, but I just talk about the personality. It's not that I ask you not to ask questions. I'm literally doing Ask Me Anythings every week. I think the problem is that a lot of times you guys ask questions, you're looking for things to ask rather than asking what you need to know. And what I mean by that is like, you try to find these like weird gotcha fake setups, or not fake, but fantasy situations or setups that aren't actually a question or a situation you've ever been in, and you're just trying to get me to give you some kind of like answer to a hypothetical that might never even happen. Instead of saying, I'm trying to do this, what is it? This isn't happening, why? I thought this, but am I wrong if that? Like a lot of the times when I might be giving a bit of a sharp edge to my answer, it's because I really think you're not asking the questions you're trying to find. I think you're trying to just find something to ask a question about, I got a bad review because a guest asked me I recommend to drink. I tried asking him what typically like to drink. Our menu of drink. Yeah, look, some people, and also sometimes people are just having a bad minute. If I have 600-700 people sitting in an audience, there's no way I have 600-700 people having a great day or even in a secure part of their life. In fact, they might be at that conference because they're worried about their career or this industry, Also, when we do these kind of things, when the questions are coming out of left field, left all over the place, it's hard to keep track, right? Like, I'm glad we got on a discussion about gels and we go further and further with gels, and then someone goes like, well, what about this on a C-stand? It's like, hold on, I'll get back to that. We're still doing this. So that's a fault of this format. It is what it is, right? I think you're civilized enough that would be welcome for a dinner. Thanks. Thank you. Listen, I'm a pro. At the end, if I got to be a pro, I got to shake some things out, clean up a little bit. It is, that's what I do, right? I hope you guys, I hope you guys are brave enough to try things before you even ask, right? Instead of going, what would happen if this? It's like, go do it. Well, what would happen if, what's in between this? Go do it. What's in between an umbrella and a softbox? Do you have an umbrella and a softbox? Yeah, go do it. And hopefully you have enough insight to go, well, if I'm going to test this softbox versus an umbrella, I know that I'm going to leave my light in the same position, same distance to my subject so that there isn't a variable of the distance or a change in the subject. Only change I want to see is the modifier. Then the next thing I need you to do is recognize the subtleties of the light to go, okay, the chin looks like this. This shadow has a sharper line. All these different things, right? So anyway, 40 episodes, guys. We just did 40. We're only 10 away from 50. And we're less than 40,000 away from that 100K. That means we are closer to 100K than we are to 0. This channel is on its way, kids. I hope we can get to 100K. There's a lot going on. I'm confident that it'll all be great. I love Ab. Ab's going to throw down hard. Mark Mann's going to be awesome. Meg Lokes is going to be awesome. We're going to have a good February here at the event space. Hopefully you can come and join me, 42 West 18th Street. And hopefully you guys are sharing this channel around to some buddies. That's how we grow, and you get some friends in the chat. You can kind of hang out virtually. Think of this as your World of Warcraft. You hop in here, hang out while we do this, Man, why am I getting 8 million messages now? Who's calling me? Sorry, guys. Yeah, if you're watching this on replay, what should we say? What do you guys, if you got this far in the video, if you're watching this on replay, tell me, give me your favorite bagel. I want your favorite bagel in those comments. Oh wait, I did that one. Did I do that one already? Do we care if I did that one already? Should we go with favorite bagel? Chat, tell me. Appreciate your teaching style because talk about the why and the motivations, making choices. I can't learn from the ones that give recipes. That's what I'm hoping you guys get out of what I'm doing. I never understand the plug and play type. Here's my formula for blah. You're not doing anything. And you might not even be able to emulate it. Would you find those cases in the $3 bin? Yeah. Canadian wants waffles. Oh, man. All right, guys, I'm going to get going. I feel like this was like a low tone 40th, but whatever. No, I appreciate you guys being in here. How about favorite donuts? Okay, we'll switch to donuts. Tell me your favorite donut. All right, we'll do donuts. What were your settings? The second someone asked me what my settings were, I know they missed it all. They missed the whole point. And that's okay. That's fine. All right, guys. I will see you Wednesday with Jeffrey Berliner on the main channel. Make sure, who eats bagels? Get out of my chat room. You don't deserve. Well, are you kidding me right now? Let me know in those comments if you watch this on playback what your let me know what your favorite donut is. And I don't know, man. I'm tired, man. I am so tired. I feel like I've been in hibernation from this -degree weather, and I just need some sunlight. I would kill for some matzo ball soup today. I'll tell you that right now. Like real matzo ball soup, you know? All right, guys. I will see you Wednesday and Thursday. And don't forget to hop in those chats and say what's up, okay, if you can. Be good to each other, guys. I'll see you on the next one. Later.